Hello, I'm Healthy Emmie, and here's what I eat for lunch as a healthy, thin woman. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Healthy Emmie. I'm a nutritionist, a weight loss specialist, and the creator of the Slim on Starch program, where you work with me and, if you would like to, a nutrition coach and a mindset coach to help you release weight on a plant-based diet. I upload new videos here on YouTube every Wednesday and Saturday, so make sure you hit subscribe so that we can go on this health journey together. Today, I am celebrating the launch of my new cookbook, the Healthy Lunches Cookbook, and I'm going to be making a recipe directly from that recipe book. Now, what I love about this recipe book is that it's designed for individuals who are not just eating lunch at home, but are eating lunch outside the home. When I originally made the cookbook, I was going to call it Healthy Packed Lunches, but I didn't want to deter those that weren't eating lunch outside the home. So the way that the recipe book is set up is so that all the recipes can be eaten right after they're cooked if you want to eat them right away, but it also serves as a guide for individuals that eat lunch outside the home. So I've split it into 3 different categories. Category number 1 are all of the foods that can be eaten refrigerated. So these are going to be foods that you can put into a lunchbox or a cooler or in the fridge at work. And then when lunchtime comes, you can just take it right out of the fridge and eat it cold. Section number 2 is foods that reheat beautifully. So these are foods that, again, recipes that you can eat right after you've cooked them, or you can pack them away, put them in the fridge, and then you can reheat them in the microwave at work, or if you have a stove, you can reheat it on the stove. And then section number 3 is for meals that can go into a thermos. So all of your recipes that you can put to a thermos if you prefer to have something warm for lunch, but you don't have access to a kitchen at lunchtime. To get a copy of the Healthy Lunches Cookbook, it is linked in the description bar, and you can also go to my pinned comment in the comments section and find it there. And for anybody that purchases this cookbook, after you purchase, you will get a little special discounted treat from me, which you will see on the thank you page after you make your purchase. So thank you already for your support in the Healthy Lunches Cookbook, and let's get into cooking. Now, as we cook together today, I'm not just going to be showing you the recipe, but also I'm going to be talking through the mentality of being a healthy, thin person. There are 5 key mentalities that I keep in place in order to live this lifestyle consistently and sustainably, and I'm going to share those with you today. We are making the roasted chickpea and vegetable bowl from the Healthy Lunches Cookbook. So our ingredients are going to be, of course, we need chickpeas, so we'll have those. We are going to have any type of vegetable of your choice that's non-starchy. So I decided to go with red bell pepper, orange bell pepper, and red onion because I wanted to have an array of colors. I also have a clove of garlic. Perhaps the most important ingredient is vitamin B12. If you are on a plant-based diet, it is absolutely essential to make sure that you are supplementing with this because you're not going to get it from diet alone. And vitamin B12 is essential for neurological function, metabolism regulation, energy regulation, making sure that you don't get anemia. Most of the B12s that you find in the stores are disgusting, but this one is non-GMO, no sugar, no oil, no gross stuff, no animal products. It is linked in the description bar and also linked in the comments. I've preheated the oven to 400 degrees, and now I'm going to go ahead and chop these up. So the first mentality that I want to talk about is the idea of being a healthy, thin person. Now, this is what I titled the video so that people would say, that's intriguing, that's a bold thing to say, because I don't walk around town saying, I'm a thin person. That's really not the idea of health that I hold. I don't believe that weight is the sole indicator of what our health is, and I really don't like to take a weight-based approach to health. Believe it or not, being a weight loss specialist. The reason why I'm a weight loss specialist is because I know that that's what everybody's fixated on, and sometimes you just got to grab people by what they're fixated on, but then give them what it is that they truly need. So here is my belief. My belief is this, and this is what those who are successful in the long term believe about their health as well. Those who are successful in the short term believe something different. But those who are successful in the long term with maintaining a healthy weight do not go based on weight for their food choices. So they're not making food decisions based on weight. and how that's going to affect their weight, they're making food decisions based on health and how they want to feel. So when I make a decision for what I want to have for my midday meal, for example, lunch, should we call it? I'll talk about my beliefs on whether or not we should really be calling it lunch in a little bit. I don't say, this is going to make me gain weight, this is going to make me lose weight, this is going to make me maintain weight. Instead, I say, how do I want to feel after this meal? And how do I want to feel for the rest of my life? I love to run. I want to run for the rest of my life. Someday I hope I'll have grandkids. I want to be able to keep up with them. So I'm going to make the food decision that supports how I want to live in this world. The body is the shell that we experience life in. And in order to fully experience it, we have to make sure that it's healthy. So what I'm going to do on this baking tray here is I'm going to take a little bit of balsamic vinegar, and this is not required. If you don't like balsamic vinegar, you could just lay down some parchment paper, but I'm going to use balsamic vinegar because I find that when I do peppers and onions and line the tray with balsamic, it just cooks beautifully. So I'm going to pour a little bit of balsamic on here. And then using the peppers that I just cut into strips, I kind of use those to coat the pan so that the bottom of the pan is lubricated, for lack of a better word. Skin side down. Putting them skin side down helps prevent them from sticking. So if you are a client of mine, you've likely heard me say before that when you focus on health, you lose weight as a side effect. But when you focus on weight loss, you lose your health as a side effect because you end up going crazy, you're doing crash diets, you're doing things that don't make you feel good, all in the name of weight loss. So what is the first mentality that I hold as a healthy, thin person? I don't make it all about thinness. I don't even like that word. I really don't. The only reason why I titled the video it is because it's eye-grabbing. And like I said, I get you here based on what's eye-grabbing, but then I keep you here based on what you actually need to hear. And what you actually need to hear is this, that when you make health your focus, and you really got to get crystal clear on what health means to you. It has to be something that's really going to keep you intrigued. By the way, when you wash your produce, keep the stickers on and then take the stickers off. If you take the sticker off and then you wash it, you're actually just moving the glue all around the skin of the produce. So focus on health. And what does health mean to you? Why is it that you want to be inside of a healthy body? And this can't just be about weight loss. It has to be deeper than that. This is something that I do with my clients in the Slim on Starch program. We find your deep why. Why is it that you're in this program? And it can't be, oh, I want to lose weight. I want to fit into this dress. I want to be this jean size. We got to go deeper here. And we have to find the why that makes you cry, as they say. The second mentality that I keep in place is actually going to be kind of funny for me to say. Granted, I just put out a recipe book called Healthy Lunches, and I'll tell you why I titled it that. I do not subscribe to the idea that you have to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and that's that. And you get 3 meals a day, you get X amount of snacks, and then you're done. Sayonara. What I do believe is that our body has this incredible ability to tell us when it needs food and how much it needs, so long as we're giving our body the foods that allow it to communicate with us effectively. I.e., if we are making sure that we're eating foods from the Healthy Lunches Cookbook, if we're eating a Slim on Starch diet, if we are eating whole, real plant foods, our body knows exactly how much it needs of those foods. When we eat highly processed foods, our body is not able to communicate with us as clearly because those foods sort of hijack the brain. We were never designed to experience the hyperstimulation that processed foods give us. And so when we eat these highly palatable, highly processed foods, what ends up happening is our brain takes over what our body is trying to communicate with us. The body is trying to say, oh, we only need this many calories. We only need this much energy. But the brain says, no, this feels so good. Eating XYZ food feels so good. The Oreos feel so good. I want to keep getting that feeling. and then the brain and the body are at odds. All of this to say that we don't have to keep ourselves inside of a structure of having a certain amount of meals per day. If we're eating whole, real plant foods, we can simply rely on our body's hunger fullness cues. Now, this sort of leads me into point number 3. So point number 2 is I don't subscribe to the idea that I can only eat a certain amount of meals per day. If my body is telling me that it needs more food or less food, I trust that. Point number 3 here is going to be that I believe that my body has wisdom that I think many people don't give it credit for. And so something that I find mentality-wise is that a lot of people that I work with, by the way, for these onions, I like to keep them in the rings when I lay them directly onto the sheet here. I find that they cook very well when I do this, and they plate up beautifully when I do this too. Another pro tip is to choose vegetables that are different colors. You know, I knew I was going to have the lemon in here, so I didn't go for the yellow bell pepper, and I didn't go for the green bell pepper because I'm going to put in some greens. Mentality number 3 is to believe that your body is wise. Your body is not broken. Your body has the ability to communicate with you what it needs. And perhaps you haven't been giving it that credit. And I don't blame you if you have. You know, you've been taught to distrust your body. You've been taught to not eat when you're hungry, and that's what you need to do to lose weight. That's something that you've likely been taught if you have been trying to release weight. But I encourage you to step into the mentality that healthy people hold. And what that mentality is my body's got this covered. I can step out of the way because my body can communicate with me exactly what it needs, when it needs it, and how much of it needs. Let's lay these down. And the oven is preheated at 400 degrees. I'm going to put these in for about 20 minutes. I do want to make sure to check on them. Oh, shoot. I forgot the chickpeas. Oh, my goodness. Okay. This is because I don't have the recipe book in front of me. I'm doing this off memory. I'm also going to drain and rinse these chickpeas, and I'm going to put these on the pan as well. And we're going to go into the oven for about 20 minutes. By the way, a little pro tip, save some of the aquafaba, which is the liquid from the chickpeas, to help with the dressing that we're going to make a little bit later. But for now, let's put these into the oven. All right, so our vegetables are just finishing up, and I am going to be serving this over rice. Now, you can absolutely cook your own rice, but I do want to show you a really convenient option, which are these microwavable rice packets. For individuals that are on the go and need something quick and easy, these are fantastic. You can get these from a lot of different brands, and all you want to do is just look at the ingredients list, and you do want to make sure that the only ingredient is brown rice, and maybe there might be some water, maybe there might be some salt, but you want to make sure that there's no oil or any sauces added. And it's so easy because you can just pop these into the microwave. So I'm just going to throw this in the microwave to cook. The roasted veggies are out. They smell so good. My neighbors are probably so jealous. And I'm going to make the dressing. So the dressing is going to be a combination of tahini, lemon juice, dill, parsley. I do have exact measurements. I personally just eyeball it when I make it, but I do have exact measurements for you. And I'll pop those up on the screen. Now, fresh herbs are definitely going to be best here. However, I just moved apartments and I left my blender at my old apartment. I know exactly where it is too. So for now, I'm going to be using dried herbs because you normally would blend this dressing, but because I don't have my blender at the moment, I'm going to be using dried herbs just so that I can whisk it by hand. And when I'm assembling the bowl, I do like to assemble it in sections just to make it look pretty. I need to talk about the 2 other mentalities that healthy people hold. So mentality number 4 is aligned with the belief and the fact that in order to be successful in the long term, you really have to strengthen the muscle that allows you to sidestep instant gratification in pursuit of your long-term goals. So mentality number 4 that healthy people hold is that they're playing the long game and they're unwilling to sacrifice what they want the most in the long term for what they want right now. So what you want right now might be to have a certain food and to get a certain high from it, but what you want in the long term is to be happy, healthy, and at peace and be able to play with your grandkids and go on hikes and not have to have them care for you and be a caretaker because you're ill and you're unable to care for yourself. That's what you want the most in the long term. So you're going to sidestep the 10-minute foodgasm so that you can be at peace in the long term. These smell so good. I can't even tell you. Another mentality that healthy people hold is mentality number 5, which is that it is okay to evolve and change. And in this life, we're supposed to evolve and change. So I know that's something that a lot of my clients struggle with is, especially with their partners, they will say, you know, for so many years, we would eat and drink and that was what we did for fun. And we would go on dates and I would always eat these foods. Or my family knows me as being the one that would always eat a piece of cake or whatever it is, or be willing to drink under the table or drink lots of wine, or I was the life of the party. And it's okay to adapt and evolve and change. Just because you once were that person doesn't mean that you have to be that person forever, especially if it's sacrificing your health and your well-being and your life, honestly. And what you end up doing if you continue to subscribe to this belief that you have to always be the person that you once were, is you're putting other people's wants and desires before your own. Here's a pill that we might need you to swallow here. Other people's comfort is not your responsibility. You have to put yourself first, because at the end of the day, the reality is that everybody is the own main character in their lives, meaning that people don't care about us as much as we think that they do. And it's silly for you to sacrifice what you want in order to make somebody else feel comfortable. And by the way, it's not selfish, it's self-care. Because if you are putting yourself last because you're the one that has to care for everyone else, that's not going to work out so well in the long term. If it hasn't already, it is going to lead out to burnout and resentment and frustration, and you're not going to show up as the best version of yourself. If you really love these people as much as you say that you do, which I believe you when you say that you love them, don't you want to show up as the best version of yourself? These chickpeas look so good. All right, here we are, fam. If you made it to this point of the video, comment, "Doing this for me." Because when you do it for you, the ripple effect occurs and you end up benefiting everybody around you. You show up as the best version of yourself. So eat this for lunch so that you can show up as the best version of yourself. Make sure to get a copy of the Healthy Lunches Cookbook, which is linked in the down bar. It's also my pinned comment on this video. So I'm going to eat this now. It's 9:39 in the morning. This is going to be my first meal of the day. And I will see you in my next video.